And now I will introduce Mr. Manish in a very short way. Maybe I won't be doing justice with this introduction, but I'll introduce him to you. Then we can hear from you as to what you are doing and how we can help you. Srivastava, he is the founder and partner of Alpha Value Consulting, and he's also a charter member of TAI Bangalore chapter. His role at Alpha Consulting is to bring specialized people from the industry, and he tries to decode the best businesses followed by successful entrepreneurs and businesses. He brings them and connects them together. Most important thing about him, why he's here today, is Manish is a star in giving us the knowledge, giving us the wherewithal to take our business from one point to the other. And he can provide us and you with strategic advice on how do you grow your company and be profitable. And that is very, very important, because we all have to keep moving and growing. And I think we are going to hear a lot of insights from him today. So with that, I will open up the floor. Please unmute your mics and also come on video so we can see you and you introduce yourselves to us. So Manish will get an idea as to who you are.
I wish to listen a little bit about the background of the people over here so that I may be able to do some justice to them. And I believe that everybody is an ocean of knowledge. And so everybody is doing great. And because you being over here, sitting in this window, it means that you have already traveled a certain distance. And that's why you are being over here.
Yeah. Oh, that's so noble of you, Manish, to say that. Shreya, you or they want to come on themselves? How do you want to do?
We can allow them to come forward themselves.
Okay.
Fatima, can we have you start, please?
Yeah. Hi, Manish. Hi, Geeta. Good evening. Is my video on? Yeah.
Oh, there it is.
Yeah.
Hey, Fatima.
I'm Fatima Benazir. I'm the Chief Scientific Officer and co-founder of Azuka Labs Private Limited. So we make some specialty fluorescent dyes that are used in RT-PCR tests and so on. So we have two lines of businesses. One is these floors, and we have solved a 50-year-old problem where all the competition that is being developed in the US or Germany is all cancer causing, mutation causing, and biohazardous, whereas we have developed a food grade safe equivalent to this 50-year-old problem. So that's the first problem that we solved in 2016 when we got incubated at the Indian Institute of Sciences. So during COVID, we also launched another line of business, which is a safe sample collection, storage, and transport medium for COVID-19 samples and other biological samples, where the DNA or the RNA integrity is of importance. So we are actually one of the pioneer product biotech companies from India. So we've got patent grants in countries, including the US, India, Japan, South Korea, China, and Europe are pending. With our COVID series of products, I think we've gone into the market and deployed 1 million units with 0 contamination records so far and have onboarded some marquee customers. Our primary objective with our fluorescent molecules is technology licensing or technology transfer, where we are looking at some help and support when it comes to structuring the licensing deals, as there are not many, we are not able to look up to a lot of people in India for that. So we are planning to move to the US soon, primarily to aggregate our IP and look at structuring our licensing deals, whereas our sample collection and storage medium is primarily to solve India's and other low and middle income countries' problem, where cold chain is not very mature and storage and transportation without cold chain becomes a challenge. And as our solution does not require cold chain for up to a week. We are focusing these product lines primarily for the low and middle income countries, and then taking it forward to the high income countries. Yeah, if there are any questions, probably I'll be able to.
Yeah.
So it's hardcore biotech.
Thank you, Fatima. Sangeeta, can you please introduce yourself?
Yeah. Hi, I'm Sangeeta Menon, and I run a company that manufactures what we call headrad panels. And these panels are composite panels, and it's like a sandwich where you have a honeycomb paper core with inside, and you have cement fiber boards on the outside. So they are so the honeycomb is like I'm sure all of us know, it's one of the strongest shapes in the universe. So that's what provides the strength to these panels. So now we are looking to herald an era of conscious construction, and these headrad panels are very strong, and they're the most, I feel, the most sustainable option in in the industry. So in our company, in an otherwise man's world, we are planning to introduce women into construction, where we are going to have women manufacture these panels because they're very lightweight. I think the other benefits that I can talk about is speed of construction. It takes about 1/10 the time for constructing, effective thermal insulation, and it's a very versatile, material when it comes to application and design. So we've got all the, pardon?
Is it like something similar to fly ash?
No, not at all. Not at all. Not at all. So the outer panels that we use, it's a cement fiber board, which is a combination of cement and wood chips. That forms just about 10% of the total panel thickness. So the inside part is a paper honeycomb. So this paper is made out of recycled paper and made to our specifications to give it the strength. So that's what it's a very new thing. Although we have done research for over, I think, 17 years. The first building that was constructed was 17 years ago in Coorg, and people are still living in it, and it has passed all the tests, with regard to, how Coorg is with continuous rain and everything. So it's passed all the acid tests, and we have constructed over 100 buildings, right from this building in Coorg to a 7,000 square feet building with 30 feet high walls. And the advantage of our panel is you don't need to use any steel framework for up to 2 floors. So because you're load bearing. So, and the foundation that we use is just a floating foundation. So there is no weight, on the earth. You don't have to kind of dig down. There's no water being used. I mean, it's like a truly eco-friendly option.
So they can bear the shock as well whenever there's any shock?
Yes.
So
Yes. So these are very, and it's very good for places which are earthquake prone and all that, because it doesn't crumble and fall and kill people. So, and since it's lightweight, it's about 1/10 the weight of regular concrete and stuff. It's not going to harm people too. So we went commercial only last October, and we've actually started kind of promoting our material and taking it out, and we've got, last year, 21-22, we did over 30 lakhs of sales and progressing pretty well.
Thank you, Sangeeta.
Thank you.
Can we please have the next person introduce themselves? With the interest of time, I would request you all to be quick with just your name, your company name, your industry, and what is your expectation from the program? A quick intro. Can we have Rajeshri in? Okay, Apeksha.
Hi. Sorry, I couldn't. I'm unable to on my camera because of my internet issue.
Please go.
Hi. So we are. My company name is Projoy Probiotic, and we are probiotic manufacturer. So we have a formulation. We came up with a formulation where we are providing multi-strain probiotic powders which can be incorporated and make and use on day-to-day daily meals. So that's what my venture is, and we incorporated in 2018, and it took a time for us to come up with the probiotic in a powder form, which stays stable at room temperature. So that's
What is your expectation from the program?
I'm looking for how the business strategies, like how we can, what I can understand, like how the market analysis, where to find and how I can do that with my competitors. Thank you.
Welcome to the session. Can we have the next intro, please? Indu, Simi.
Can you hear me, Shreya?
Yes, Simi, please go ahead.
Yeah. Hi, this is Dr. Simi Sudan here. My company is called Productive Edge Private Limited, and we have a web platform. The platform is called as Maya. It's meant for cosmetic research and development. So it's a platform where they can virtually prototype before they go to the lab to start the trials. So essentially, we are trying to reduce the cost and time of cosmetic product development by up to 50%. My expectation, we have an MVP right now, and we are trying to push customers to use this version so that we can get the confidence to build further. We have filed for a provisional patent, and we hope to get a non-provisional patent soon. And my expectation from this program is to get market access, especially with large enterprises in the cosmetic sector in India, and possibly look at options to expand it in the US. So guidance in launching in the US as well. That's about it.
Great.
Thank you.
Thank you, Simi. Can we have one last intro? Nandini, you've put your hand up. Please come in quickly.
Hi, good evening, everyone. So I'm Nandini from Unboxing Art, and we are in EdTech, wherein we are helping individuals pursue creative careers. And I'm just here for some new learning and how can I help my venture grow. That's it. Thank you.
Thank you, Nandini. Manish, I think we should start with the session. We are close to 4:30.
So very good evening, and I can see like all the brilliant ladies and even few of the like gents over here. And it's been the time like when I would say like people used to ask like when will be the right time to be born in India, and I believe that this was the most suitable time where we are, because the type of the growth that India is taking, the type of the ecosystem that being developed that never used to be, and this is where we need to take advantage of that where we are. And you know, a lot of the stuff I talk about in today's session, and I will give you a glance of the things like how the market go about, and what is the expectation of the investor, how to pitch to investor, and all those things I will come across in my presentation. But anything that specifically you wish to ask, even after the session, you can always ask. So I will keep like at least like 20 or 15, 10 minutes time in the end. That may be some query round that which may not be covered in the presentation. You can always ask that, okay, I want to an answer to this question. With the best of my capability, I will try to give an answer to the questions whatsoever you will be placing. So this being there. So let me start with a little bit of my presentation side. Is the screen visible to everyone?
Yes, Manish.
Sure. So basically, like when we say like starting our own business, like you all know, like you already started and you have traveled like a certain stage and certain distance. Now the most important factor which has happened to all of you is like the confusion which was there at the time when you were just thinking like, should I start or not? Should I leave my job? Whether I will able to run it or not? All those questions I believe has already been over, and now you have traveled a certain distance, and now you know, like now where we want to move ahead, what are the things that needed to be done. But one thing where the entrepreneurs generally make a mistake is like when you start something, at that point of time, you develop a lot of like thinking side, like this thing I will do, those things I will do, I will develop certain strategy. These are the initiatives I will take over the years. I will try to solve certain problem. So all those things that start cropping your mind. But when you actually get into on the ground, then you feel that you're being pissed into more on the operation side, because you've been involved in managing the day-to-day show. Now you're not finding much of the time to like strategize yourself, not finding the time how to think ahead, and how to create more of the value proposition. Of course, my boat is sailing, but I need to make the run rate of my boat go on a high speed. So that is what being required, because when we start something at that point of time, we've been full of energy and we feel that yes, we will do it in this 6 months time, this thing, but certain ground realities that will comes, and then we start feeling that no, there are little bit of challenges that been there, and we at times get fixed with the challenges. So what I would say that whenever these sort of the problem that arises, try to figure out in a way like whatsoever the things which is taking your time, maybe like 50-60% of the time, the operational side of the time, try to provide it to somebody, delegate it to somebody, and find a person who can work on those things, and you try to focus more on the strategy side. This sometimes we miss the game, and that being the reason like we're not able to grow that pace fast, multiply it ourselves fast, and that being one of the prime reasons that what I look into. Key takeaways today, I'll be talking about majorly on the strategic objectives, key performance indicators that we need to look at, then plan and priorities work associated with objectives, business model perspective, how to pitch your startup before investor, the investor perspective, what they're looking for, because we create something, but the investor have their different mindset. They have their own choices. So what they look into, right? The valuation of a startup and quantitative aspect used in building a scorecard. So this being the entire like what I've been majorly talking about today. If anything left uncovered, please ask in the question answer round. Okay. So first thing before going into the business model, I will be talking more on the strategy map. That please look into your strategy side, because once you get into the thing, you get involved into the thing, and then strategy take a back seat. So it is always being better like to write something like what is my mission, what is my vision, where I want to go. There's always been like people believe like for any of the annual report, if you open, there's a mission statement, there's a vision statement, and just for the sake of writing it, people write it. It should not go that way. There need to be a strong mission. When I say mission, that something, some purpose I've been there. I've been creating a company for some purpose, for solving something. That is the mission, certain goals that have been there, and that's what I want to achieve. People believe that these are all theoretical things. They have no meaning, but I believe beside the numbers, these are the most important ingredients for any business, and we need to keep in mind our vision and the mission statement, which always provide you the guiding force, which always provide you a certain sort of like the tailwind that yes, you have to move ahead, you have to go take initiatives, and because this is the target what I have set, and that's where I want to achieve. Then there may be certain perspectives that you always need to keep in mind. One is like maybe like everybody's more every day more being involved onto the finance side, from where the money will come, where I will get the money, how I will solve my working capital problem. But the question is, we need to focus on 4 things. That's what I've been saying, like delegate those things which you can delegate, and work on those things which being more strategically required. So finance is one. Second, customer, you always need to focus on what the customer want is. If I just keeping myself aloof of like what the customer perspective is, what the customer want is, what his desire and what are his likings, then I being missing the bus. So I need to work more on the customer centric approach. That is most important, that being required to. Okay. Then internal, like on the face of the thing, I would say my organization is this, I have the board of directors and everything is blah, blah, all good things we should, but internally we need to look at whether we have the right people in place, whether the delegation is proper or not, whether the process is being properly followed or not. And if these things are not worked in the initial days, then slowly and gradually what you would see that the passion that you hold for your startup, that passion is not actually flowing to the deep down to the employees or to the people who being at a level below you. Okay. So a lot of effort being needed to motivate them, make them understand. I believe that why this induction program that happens whenever any employee joins a company, because in order to make them aligned to the roadmap of the company, to make them aligned to like how the company thinks and where the company want to reach, and you have to align yourself along with the company. And that is the main reason why the induction program generally happens. Innovation, yes, I can start today with something, but innovation is it is not like one day thing. Every day we need to keep on thinking in a different way, like, okay, if I change this thing, what will happen if I, so a lot of permutation, combination, we keep on trying and look into like, what is the best thing that can work out for me? So if you look into the apple, there is a one cut, it is not a complete apple. And that's what we say, that innovation is, and even for a company like Apple, there need to be an innovation, because without innovation, we cannot grow. And so this being there, then step 3, I would talk about more like defining strategic priorities, like top level goals. And this is, please write it down. What are your top goals are? Because until and unless, like Fatima ji was telling, like I wish to go to the US, and so what I wanted to, where are my customers are, for reaching my customers, what I need to do, with whom I need to connect. What are the activities that I need to carry? These are the most important things that we, and for those activities, what are the things that I needed to do? Okay. Business goals, add business, no, strategic business goal. Now, suppose there is a company, and the company there.
I'm unable to hear. Can the others hear?
I think there's a problem. There's no audio from his end. I'll just check. Please.
I can't hear Manish.
No, there isn't any audio. I'll just check with him. Just give me a minute. Manish, we lost you in between.
Yeah. Now it's.
Yeah, now you're audible.
Okay.
But your screen is not visible.
Just a minute. Let me share it again. Now, is it visible?
Yes, it is.
Okay, sure.
If you could please take it on slideshow.
So then there's a step 5, I would say, describe rational. Rational is the set of reasons why we decided to pick this very goal. What is the reason, like why I started this company? What is the end objective I need to achieve out of that? Define the metrics, the pair of leading and lagging metrics. This is another important aspect. Like when you see, like when you ask a question to yourself, my company is doing good, bad, or what? You get an answer. Okay, my company is doing fairly good. But it may be I would say that not may answer to the question going deep, because you are just being on the face of it saying that things are going good. But the question is, I need to look into what are the activities which are doing good, where I've been leading, what are the activities where I've been lagging. On the lagging metrics, I need to work upon, so that in order to make it a leading metrics rather than a lagging side. Okay, so that is again we need to look into, and this is basically an activity chart that we need to look at, like what are the activities which are actually performing and what are the activities are not able to perform. Okay. Define initiatives are your high-level action plans. That's what I've been moving. I've been moving ahead. What are my 3 years program? How I've been taking it ahead, and what are the initiatives I've been taking? And then cascade. Cascade creates a lower version of the strategy map. Like there may be different business units within the company. For each of the business unit, I need to create a local version of my strategy map, and that's what is there. So looking from the top side, that okay, this is how the strategy that need to be carved out. These are the important 8 steps that need to be looked into and followed, which will always act as a driving principle or driving factor. So you're able to understand that what are the things which are not working, what are the things which are working, which are not working, what are the activities I need to do so that they start working. So these are the key basic principles that need to be looked into. Okay. This is basically like a Tesco steering wheel, and this company, and every time it's annual report that publish it as well. Like we as a company, when I say that we started a company, I cannot start a company on a solo basis. Like just I started it for the sake of starting it. I need to be the part and parcel of the community where I've been. I have to serve to the customer. I need certain finances. I need to maximize the profit. I need to hire the people. I need to make them happy as well, the people who are working in the organization. And then their operations need to be seamlessly need to be worked into. And then at the end of the day, there's a community that we are actually helping that to grow. So these are the entire, I cannot be a solo, my company cannot be doing something solo. I need to be the part and parcel of the community. I need to this what I've been talking about, that leading and lagging indicators that you can always look it down, like financial. Suppose if I talk about, suppose you are saying that my target need to be this much at the end of the year, and you are saying that and suppose at the end of the year you're able to achieve more than what you have fixed, suppose, then it is basically your leading indicator. Now there may be certain lagging indicator as well. Suppose you look into the customer, suppose improve customer satisfaction. Customers are not very satisfied. They are providing a negative feedback. Then what I need to look into? I need to work hard on that. Like what are the things that is going wrong and where the problem is. So what is happening? You are going deep down, understanding where the problem is, and then finding a solution to that particular problem and tame that particular problem. Yes. And hit it hard. Yes, this is where the problem is, and I need to make it workable. Okay, so that may be the different versions of the balance scorecard for different sort of industry when I talk about. Okay, so you need to look into like what are the activities which go in your company, and how to look into like what are the leading and what are the lagging indicators are, and how I can improvise myself, my company to reach to my goal, what I have set for. Okay. Now, when you, as a startup, we talk about the most important metrics that generally, even if you go to the investor is not willing to look into more into like profit kya karte ho? What is the profit lines? The more important is like traffic metrics. What is your traffic metrics? Whether it is organic or direct, paid or social traffic, what is the traffic metrics is? And there are so many websites, so many apps which talks about tracking your traffic metrics, like where you stand. And from which part of India you are getting the business. So all those things being very easily tracked these days. So this is the one of the most important, I would say, key performance indicator, which talks about, yes, at least the people are interested to look into your company and look into like, okay, you are doing something which has a value proposition. Then second term is the engagement of key performance indicator like conversion into trials, like percentage of the client who unlock the key functions. Now, how you were able to understand whether the customer is satisfied or not satisfied, whether they actually want your service or not. Okay, so then you're able to understand through the feedback that you're obtaining and a meaningful conversation. There may be certain chat box that you can create. So from the chat box, you're able to understand like what are the feedbacks actually is. Then percentage of the client who unlock key functions. Suppose I created a website, certain platform. Now the customer is browsing, going deep inside it, downloading suppose a report or downloading some things. So it means that you are engaging your customer, and that is the conversion into a trial. And then most of the people will try to go for a trial version for that. And that is where the interest factor is. You're able to understand. Paid subscription, it's being, I would say, once the person decided or make up his mind, okay, that seems good. The trial version worked well and I need to pay. And that is the paid subscription. It creates a silver lining to you that yes, the people are satisfied, they are paying and making the payment, and they are subscribing to your model. Okay. And the churn rate, like how many people are able to retain the customers you're able to retain, and the churn rate should not be very high. Otherwise, it means like the people are coming, landing on the platform and then going out. So I need to retain it. So I need to do something differently in order to retain them. So economic metrics, cash flow, burn rate, customer acquisition, lifetime value, and revenue, cost, and profit. So these are the economic metrics that we need to work upon. And when one customer goes, it does not mean that one single purchase goes away from us. This is one of the most important thing that need to be kept in mind. Like one customer goes, it means what we have lost. We have lost the lifetime value of that customer. Like average, how it being calculated? Average dollar amount of the purchase into number of customer purchases per year, whatsoever number of times he's purchasing, into average length of the customer relationship in a year. So suppose 3 years, 4 years, 3 years, 2 years customer. So this is the overall, you are saying that customer lifetime value. If you are losing one customer, suppose using Airtel, and now a different company, the Jio comes and I switch over to Jio, then what is happening? The entire lifetime value being getting lost for Airtel. So that is how we need to look into like how the customers are important, and we need to work on creating a value, and retaining them is the most important task and the critical task for us. Then how to like attract the customer. This is again like important thing that need to look at. Everybody asks like how to look and create something more valuable for the customer. So first of all, the first impression I would say is the last impression. So my website or the interface that what we have created, it needs to be very presentable and it needs to be informative so that it provides the right set of information. It makes the people attract, look at, go deep, go through various functionalities of my website, and that is where create a value proposition. Engaging your customers, like you can start with the chat box, because people believe like something is directly giving somebody directly giving a reply to me. What I've been writing, I'm getting a reply. It means like somebody who is there to take care of me. So the chat box function is very important. Contact number and newsletters. Yes, people are suppose feeling good about the company, they provide the numbers, subscribe to the newsletters. So these are the way and medium to understand like whether the customer is satisfied or not. Following up with them like feedback and service. Yes, you can always go with the feedback and service, but one thing, make sure these feedback and service, whenever you're asking something, it should not be like 10 or 15 questions you are asking. Just ask 3-4 questions which make you aware that whether the customer is satisfied or not. That is the role is over. It is not like 20 questions you are asking. Nobody has the time these days to go into providing the 20 answer to your questions, right? Proper guidance like video tutorials can be created and which can be helpful to them in order to make understand. Take example, suppose I buy something like suppose an Almira I bought from Amazon. and that came in a very folded manner. And now you need to create, now you need to build that almirah in your home or in the office. Now they have provided you the nuts and all, but I cannot do I cannot fix it out. So what they provide in like a video tutorial that this is how it needed to be fixed. So this is maybe very helpful. So you need always to look into the people, what they want, how that can be helpful. If I've been even selling my particular product in Amazon, then I need to see that how it can be solving a problem as well as how it can be attracting the customer. Case study of other customer, their feedbacks, as well as how satisfied they are, and use of analytics that can be used. So these are all the things which helps in creating or attracting the customer, because you are not going directly to the customer. It is only on the web that your presence is. We are sitting in a world which is going to be a metaverse in the time to come, and so everybody will have a digital avatar. And I would say that there is no need of meeting personally. Something very strange. I was reading of an article in which is saying that the people will need to purchase the clothing for the digital avatar of yours. Suppose I look like this, but I have my digital avatar, maybe some robotic, some sort of robot that my face will become, and then I being purchasing the clothing for that particular thing, and he is a person who is going to different places over the web. Right. So this is how the entire set of things that is going to change the world, and we need to be we need to look into how we can cope up with the situation and how we can utilize these sort of new things that are coming up in our way. So business model, generally when we talk about there are 4 types. One is business to business model. I will take example. I will give an example which make the thing very clear. Take example, IndiaMart is a company everybody knows. IndiaMart is now a listed entity, and this where the listing of the different businesses take place. People go and list their businesses. Suppose if I being selling something, I will go to IndiaMart, list my business, and then the people will look into, okay, this is the person who is selling this particular product. So they will go and make a call and purchase the product from that. So this is basically like a B2B business model that IndiaMart, what it is doing, it is just listing it. IndiaMart is not selling. IndiaMart is not saying that you pay over here and that. So this is basically a listing platform. So this is basically more like a B2B business model. There are certain plus points when I say business to business, and there are certain negative points business to business. If you talk about investor these days, they're more being fascinated to go into B2C, direct to customer business models, because they are the numbers that speaks. 1.38 billion population, everybody is more centric to that. That is the overall population, that so much of the population India has, and that is where the potential to grow is. Okay. So, but still, I would say that B2B is easy going in a way, you can bulk purchases that you can make. If you now talk about B2C, it may be direct to the customers. It may be suppose take example, Urban Clap, Zomato, Swiggy, directly being that B2C business models. They've been directly providing. I want to book somebody for repairing of my AC, suppose. I've been talking to him directly, booking it, and he's coming. So that is B2C business model. Then there may be a subscription-based business model. Take example, you purchase Google 360, or there may be certain software subscriptions that we purchase for an year basis. Certain antivirus we purchase. So these are subscription-based models that you take a subscription for that. Or there may be certain magazines. I've been taking a subscription of those magazines. Newspaper these days, I've been taking a subscription of that. So these are the subscription-based business model. There may be certain duplicacy as well. And I say subscription-based model and B2B business model like IndiaMart, there may be a certain duplicacy as well. On-demand business model, it means on demand that the things may be. Suppose if I need to book a hotel, going to make my trip, I can book immediately on my demand. Like today, I want to book a hotel, I can book it. I want a car, I can ask for Ola or Uber. So that is how on-demand business models are. So I need to be very clear enough, like where I being falling to, and because the strategy that you need to build for B2B and B2C is going to be totally different. And so according to what type of business model we are landing into, we have to build the strategy according to that. Okay. When I talk about B2C, the major focus is like customer acquisition. And there I need to look into like what is the acquisition cost the customer is. So when you talk about any CFO who been sitting in a company, his more focus is like what is how much of the burnout he has to make so that he can acquire so many customers in suppose 3 months or 6 months down the line. Because the investor is more looking into like how you are penetrating the market, how the unique customers they are coming, and that all creates a difference. So business model canvas majorly talks about, I would lay one example of Mr. Narayan Murthy as well. He said in one of the interview, and he's saying that the major problem is it is not like what you are doing, but the type of the market size that you are looking at. You are saying that the market size is so many billions. There may be a wrong calculation of the market size that you are looking at, because there's always been a duplicacy of the customers that been there. For Ola, if I say, take example, Ola and Uber, they are the two competitors. Now, there's a duplicacy of the people. When I show my business plan, I would say that this billion of the population is there, and out of this is a percentage I've been talking about. And Uber will also talk about the same thing. So there is a duplicacy of the market. So we need to look into like what is the real market size is. So we'll not be able to make a mistake at a later point of time when you will to deciding like how much of the size of the market I need to capture. Organizational strength and challenges. These are another important aspect that need to be, because everybody cannot have everything in the first go. There may be certain strengths, there may be certain challenges, essential elements of the products. What is the uniqueness of my particular product is that also need to be looked at. How your product and service are financed, and how it will be sold. So this is majorly more on the finance side, like from where I've been raising the money and how I've been utilizing it. Generally, there being a question point beside this business model that how much money should I raise? Should I raise all the money what I've been getting? Suppose I have made some model and my company is performing well and I've been into certain segment, and I find an investor. The investor is saying, boss, I've been ready to, I like your startup idea. I've been willing to take, suppose 40% stake of your business, 40% stake of your business, and I will be paying you, suppose 5 crores of rupees. Okay. The question is, maybe my business not require 5 crores at this point of time. Maybe I just require 1 crore rupees, because my model is an asset-like model. I don't require much of the money at this point of time. Then why I should go and dilute 40% of my stake in my company? So this is another important aspect that need to be looked into, because like when you start the game, it being very encouraging that getting 2 crores of rupees or 5 crores of rupees from an angel investor or some VC, but we need to be careful enough, like what stake we are diluting. If we dilute so much of the stake in the initial go, then I would not able to run a race longer enough, because then the next round of investment will, it seems like the next round will become easy. I would say it will become difficult, because the person would say, boss, he has just invested 2 crores and he's sitting at 40% stake, and you are asking from me so much of the value proposition, and now you are providing me 5% stake. So this may be a challenge, because no big investor willing to be in a cap table at a 5% stake, and somebody who may not be a very good investor, he is sitting with 40% stake in your cap table. So cap table is a very important element that you need to look into, at what type of the investor you have in your cap table. Okay. So when I talk business model, very strong business model need to have 7 specific elements and which need to be worked upon. And these are just like writing, like saying like, okay, these are the 7, but we need to work on each of these. Like identify your specific audience. Take example, like there's a company called First Cry. Now First Cry basically sell the for whom? For whom? It is for the babies. They are selling the costumes for the babies, the products, the soap, the different things, the toys. Now, who is the specific audience? It is not the father, it is the mother who is the specific audience for it. Because generally the mother who takes care of these toddlers. So it is more important, if I able to convince a lady, then I can able to make or sell my particular product. So here the specific audience may be the ladies who being in the age of, maybe roughly in the age of 25 to 35. So that may be one of the most important thing that need to be looked at. Entire world, 1.38 billion people cannot be my audience. I need to look into like a structure, like it may be like 5%, 10%, 15%, 20%. What is going to be my audience sizes and where I need to focus myself. Okay. Establish business processes, because like I cannot like today say something, tomorrow say different thing. I need to have certain set of processes that are there in the company, because whenever like you started something, of course you carried your way, but when any professional investor or the VC wants to come in your company, he will always talk about the processes that you have, because he will not want to anything in hanky-panky. So he said that, okay, you need to explain that this is how we do. This is how, in a very crafted way, we process the thing. This is how we do and nurture the things. That is how you need to explain. Record key business resources. Like what are the key business resources that we require? Suppose I require a very strong marketing person in my company, because I have a very strong product line. I have a deep tech into it. And now I need somebody who can go out and talk about my particular product. So that is the key resource that may be required. I need, suppose, a very strong accounting person. Suppose my company is into the finance domain or advisory domain. I need to have a person who being a CFA, or maybe a person who may be a well-versed with experience. So who is the key business resource person that may be required? Develop a strong value proposition. It is not only about revenue, that people say that I created so much of the revenue. How much of the value that you're able to translate to the market? If you have a strong value proposition, you're able to capture the market. Take example. We buy products from through Amazon. Product comes to you. You don't like it. You don't feel the product quality is good enough. You say, okay, I've been returning it back. No question asked. Amazon will not come and say that, boss, why you are not liking it? I will not be returning it because you tear the label and this thing, that thing. Not much of the question that being asked. And that is the reason and logic why they have grown so big. I take an example, personal example, like I purchased a bicycle for my son, and that bicycle tires are not good enough. They said that, I had a discussion with the Amazon guy, and they said, customer service person, and he said that, boss, I've been refunding your entire amount, and I don't want even the cycle back. You can give it to somebody who being needy enough. So it is not like, so say that they have wasted the money. They have created a value, but because they have so much of the muscle power, and that is the reason that they're able to create it. Then determine key business partners. Suppose, take example, I cannot work on a solo basis. Suppose if I have a restaurant, and in my restaurant there being 20 seats, then only 20 people can come and sit. Then I cannot grow myself bigger than that. So the question is, when I say determine key business partners, I need to talk to Swiggy, I need to talk to Zomato, then I can sell more of my particular product or my food items to the people. So they are becoming my business partners. So who can become my business partners? I need to be looked into, like how I can grow my business. create a demand generation strategy, like how the demand can be generated. It may be through certain activities I've been creating, or certain like Google ad, or maybe through Facebook. You know, you already know like how to. So going for that, going for SEO and different things you can always try. Leave room for innovation. Anything cannot be perfect. We always need to keep on a learning curve, and that is where we can create a value proposition. So these things seem simple, but this particular slide is more important. You should make a rough copy of what we need to do. Research. We are fighting for something like how to get into this, and there already exists a company who do those things, who can help us in those things. So if I have not done a proper research, then keep on trying, and wasting our time. So what is required is we need to do a lot of research and understand what the market participants are, with whom to connect, whom to talk, because in the today's world, the entire ecosystem is ready. You need to do your marketing stuff, and number of companies waiting there for you. You need to do this thing. You need to organize an event. There being an organizer which is present. Identify the industry, the sector which you are. That is another important aspect. People don't understand in which sector or the industry they fall to. So we need to be clear enough with regard to our industry and the sector where we are. Identify which segment you belong to. Another important aspect is which segment you belong to. You need to look into. Do SWOT analysis, little bit like what my strength, weakness. Like take example, there being a person. You all have heard about Richard Branson. If you look into his storyline, he is a person who is not good enough in mathematics, but he being very good in athletics. So he get failed in mathematics, but he get all the grades, all the medals in his sports. So he keep on passing every class. He keep on passing with even after failing in mathematics. So we need to look into whatever the core strength areas are, and that creates a value proposition. Okay. A stage at which business in which you want to board. So again, suppose today I felt I should also start something like an Ola, Uber, or Meru Cab. Can I do so? I need to either create a very distinct business model, very disruptive business model. Otherwise, I cannot compete with these people. And even if I'm able to create some different, very distinctive model, even then, these other people which have the muscle power, they have the investor sitting, they will try to cooperate in a very short span of time. So the question is, we need to look into like at which stage this particular business is, whether this is the right time or not, because most of the thing already you've done and the investors already make them unicorns and they have gone to a different level. I cannot compete with them. Now that being a different scenario, what is happening in this context? There being a company called Grofers. Grofers become Blinkit, and Blinkit being acquired by Zomato. So what is happening? People are making the company look like more attractive to somebody, some big company, so they can purchase us. Like take example, this again, like White Hat Junior. Karan Bajaj created a company, selling in just 6 to 8 months. And so with a clear funda that I have to make a company, sell it, get into another business, create a company. I don't feel good enough that when the promoters are not being passionate about what they've been doing and why they've been doing, it is not only about making the money, that is the sole purpose, or minting the money. That may be one of the objective. No doubt everybody want to be on the profit line. That is one part. But we need to address to a certain problem. If we able to create something, it give a more peace to us. It will be more something more beside the money factor that comes to us, and we feel more graceful enough that yes, we have done something for somebody, for the community, for the society. You look into like this Mr. Anil from Vedanta, 75% of the salary he contributes for charity purpose and all, and the type of the story that he carries, like how he started, gone to Mumbai with 2 chapatis, and how he traveled the way and how he has created the Vedanta. So that is like we need to understand like whether you actually able to create something for the society or not, because company at the end of the day is a creature of the society. Look into which companies you can create a relationship with yourself. Identify that this is again one thing, like because you all being at a stage where now you've been looking for raising the funds, so you need to identify the angel investors or the venture capital fund which are in your segment. It's always been better never to run with before every investor or after every venture capital fund. It's always been better to look into like who may be the right partner for us. Look to them not as only like a financial investor, but more like a person who is coming with a certain visibility in the market, who can create certain value proposition for us, who can guide us, who can make us grow. That is more important. Okay. Otherwise, suppose I've been running a company which being a deep tech company. Suppose tomorrow a company like Haldiram comes to us and says that, okay, I've been willing to make 5 crore rupees investment in your company. It may not, this investment that may be a financial investment, but it may not be much relevant for me. The reason being because they don't understand any of my business sense. So I need to prioritize myself, like with whom to talk. Generally, people believe that I need to be behind the investors, but investors follow those who creates things. I take example for this. They being one of the company for whom we got a mandate for raising the fund for them. The investors are ready. I talked to the investors. The investors are ready. Okay, this company seems good after hearing the pitch. But then the promoter said that, Manish, I don't need fund now because the type of the thing I've been building, that is something very different and creating more of the value. So I will go for a bigger round in the later point of time. I feel better to be at a bootstrap level rather than taking the fund from somebody and then he keep on pinching me and then he keep on saying that you do this thing that way and all these things. So then you need to work in a way like minimum capital for running my working capital, or maybe somebody may say like, what should be the minimum capital I should ask for? I should at least, like, if somebody I able to get a fund, I may look into like, if I need really the money, I may look into like what is my 18 months requirement is. So my 18 months requirement will able to help me get to that particular stage where I able to raise the next round of the funding. So there may be like a top-down or bottom-up approach. Top-down approach, when I say we need to look into the economy overall, like what is the overall economy that is being there, the sector and then the company. That being the top-down. Another is like a bottom approach. I need to look at the company, then sector, and then the economy. So if you look into the current dynamics, this corona when it hit, and then the entire like 2 years, that may be the lull period, I would say. But there may be companies which have actually minted the money. If you talk about the company like Netflix, if you talk about companies like which are into the diagnostic chain companies, they have actually minted the money. So it all depends upon how the economy is, or what are the market dynamics is. I can be very good enough, but I can be very fundamentally good enough. But the question is, I may not able to create a value at that point of time when the market is not going in that direction, because I want to go north, but the market is not going north. So I need to work in, I need to look into where the market is, because I may start blaming myself. It may not be the right way to look at, because when the market will go better, then my things will also go better. So we need to work. But again, a little bit of the tweaking in the business model that need to be carried enough, because we need to grow according with the market. We cannot sit idle and say that when the good time will come, then I will do something. I need to work continuously upon like how the market is, and accordingly we need to work upon. Take example, like suppose I need to look into like what is the revenue my company will be earning, then I need to look into the price into quantity, that okay, what is the number of the quantity that I will be producing and what is the total number of product that will be there. So there's maybe the total, like our total revenue equals to R1 plus R2 plus R3. So that may be there. So this is how I need, now I need to work on each of the R1 plus R2 plus R3, that what, where the margins are, what are the things I need to push in. So that needed to be looked again. There may be the volume-based business. There may be, because this volume-based business, you cannot cope up until and unless you create a lot of volume. I cannot start something selling at 10 rupees and until and unless I don't have the volume. Maggie able to manage it because Maggie has a volume to that. Thumbs Up, cold drink, and all these things able to manage because they have the volume to that. If you're not able to create a volume, then you cannot survive in this particular game. So price-based business, like you go and look into like Omega, there may be the time you've gone to any of the like the supermarkets and there are any of the mall and you see like there may be the Omega showroom and nobody is coming over there. You feel like, oh my God, how this company able to pay the rent? Nobody is coming. Every day I see and nobody comes over here. They don't have to sell a number of watches. If they're able to sell in a, suppose in a overall 3 watches in a month's time, they say that, okay, that's pretty fine enough. One is the 7 lakh, one is the 12 lakhs, one is the 5 lakh we're able to sell. That's pretty enough. Good work done. Then again, demand curve, price-based, okay. Demand curve inverse relationship. One important aspect is when you start making certain product or offering service, one question comes to your mind. What should be the price I should make for my particular product? That should be the right price. Otherwise, if I make it a bit higher, it will not work. If I make it a bit lower, it will not work. Nano not able to work in the market, not being positioned well, I would say, because it being placed in a way that it being a low cost car. It should not be placed in that way. It needs to be addressed in a different way. Okay. So it all depends upon how you place it to the market. Of course, at times that suppose you want to increase the price, suppose you initially wanted okay, I started my company, I cannot charge much of the price because of the competition. Then if you're able to sustain yourself and you're able to grow yourself, if you're able to prove to the people that yes, you are good quality product, people will not feel bad even if you increase the price of the product. So we need to look into if heavy marketing can be done at a later point of time, I can increase the fees also. I can increase the fee of my particular product as well, price of my particular product. So a few things I will talk about, how to pitch your startup and a few mistakes people make, and that will provide you a glance of. First of all, when you go for making a pitch, the investor or anybody who is looking for making investment, he is majorly being looking into a strong storyline. Whether you have that particular storyline or not, whether you are creating something different or not, whether you're able to create something which has a value proposition or create a difference in the time to come, or certain sort of disruption, I would say, that you're able to do it or not. That is one of the most important thing. Keep your startup pitch simple and crisp. No need to use a lot of jargons, strong words. Very simple pitch that yes, this is what we are. That is the gap that exists, and that is the particular problem we are able to try to solve. And I want to go deep down and solve this problem. Never use too many slides. Nobody is willing to look at going through a lot of your slides. So less number of slides, more of your say, more of your experience, more of creating a value proposition, more of the real life examples that will help in making them understand more about your business. Because in the very first page, nobody is going to make investment. They will talk the next level. Okay. So in the pitch, at least you try to make them aware about your product, create interest, arouse interest in them so that they feel about, okay, yes, I want to talk in the second round as well. Engage with the audience and place things which they want to listen rather than just what you want to place. It is not like what you want to place, what the audience want to hear, what is their requirement is, what is feel good factor music to their ear is. So not from their perspective, not from your perspective. Because I make something, I've been very fascinated about myself that yes, I made it, so it is one of the best things. It cannot be. I need to ask to the people in the audience that how it looks. I can talk first of all to my relatives, like whether this thing's workable or not. So the first person may be your relatives as well. Then you can talk to your near and dear ones. Then you can talk to people who may be your friends and community that you belong to. So this is how you can always look into. Then define a problem. Until unless there is not a problem, there cannot be a solution. I cannot create something which nobody wants, and I just keep on pitching. Yes, this is what I have created, and people should buy this thing. It can never go that way. You need to be clear enough, clear roadmap. Yes, this is the problem which being there, identified problem, and this identified problem, I able to solve it through my startup. That is create a value. Place a solution, mention 3 or 4 functions of your product or service, like whatever the product or service that you are offering. 3 or 4 majorly functions that, okay, these are the major functions that it will be enabling or helping. Place a unique value of your startup product or service, how uniquely it will be. Let potential investor experience. This is a lot of people are missing. Suppose if I made certain product, I've been going for a pitch session, I've been not taking my particular product along with me. Take your particular product, or if you have an app or the service, go and show the particular how it works, how your app works, how the interface of your product look like. So let potential investor experience your product firsthand. Make the feel factor, look and feel. Okay, you take it in your hand. If they're being a product company, take it in your hand, feel it. This is how it is. So then they will try to appreciate it more. Talk about traction and milestone achieved or will be achieved or you have already achieved. Be very clear who are the specific audiences. I already told you, like the first try example I placed. Know your numbers. This is again the mathematics where a lot of people fail. You have a good company, you have made a good start, you have reached to a certain level. Now people are liking your product. Now you find suppose some investor and you don't know like what is my ask should be, what should be the value of my company need to be. And even like there may be certain capex requirements. I'm not aware like what is going to be the capex number is. There may be certain overhead requirement not aware of. So I need to be clear enough on my number terms. Suppose I being a person who not being a finance background person, then I need to take help of a person who being into the finance domain and make him aware about a particular product, service, about your startup, about your journey, about what your uniqueness your particular startup has and how the growth that you are looking at. And then you just take help from him in jotting down the numbers that will flow out of it. Because at the end of the day, numbers are going to create the value. Numbers are numbers. Because at the end of the day, finally, it needs to percolate in the number terms. That, okay, this should be the value of your company based on these numbers. Talk about your team strength. Another important aspect. You should not go just like a founder. I being a founder, I stand and I start talking. Take people who being a key element of your company. Take them along and say that this is our team. This is the strength that we have. These, or even in the slide you present that these are the set of the people that we have. And these are the technical guys. These are the people who do this stuff. This is the marketing person. This is so. If you're able to show the team strength, then it will create more value and more convincing to the investor. Yes, you are saying blah 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 things, all the rosy things, whether you're able to implement it or not. So you have the strong backbone that been there or not. That is the most important. Talk about stage of business. If any tech involvement, talk about it. If you have taken certain patent, like Fatima ji is saying that she has taken certain patent or applied for patent, that creates certain value proposition. And if you any particular product or service or anything that can be patented, please get it. Or even your process, if it can be patented, please get it patented, because it will create more visibility, more value proposition in the eye of the investor. Okay. Steps to gain credibility. Now, this another important aspect is like this is from the investor perspective, like how you're able to convince the investor. Show your credibility through team. Like, this is the right fit and the right team I have. I have these advisors who being the top shot guys from the industry, who understand the industry and who have the connects. And if they are being a patent, show it, reflect it. These are the patent. If you have follow certain process, show the process chart that this is how the process runs in my company. Emotional attachment you need to create with your audience for your product or service. Very important aspect. Until and unless people are not emotionally attached, people will not purchase it. Okay. Take example, like if you go to a salon and suppose a person comes who is totally bald and he has just 5 years. And one salon guy is saying that, sir, isme what I can do. Okay. Somebody says that, sir, these 5 hairs are the most important thing of your scalp is, and you need to protect it. So this is the way and the like how you are emotionally attaching. He will say, yes, you are the best person. You are talking positive. Everybody respond negative in this sense. So you need to connect it emotionally, and that will create a value for your company. Because until and unless people are not being emotionally attached, people will not go deep. If somebody says that, sir, this is for your son, and this can be, suppose you go to Decathlon, suppose. And in Decathlon, they being a lady who been selling the skates or helping to get you a skate. And now your son is saying that, yes, I need a skate, roller skate, suppose. Now, the lady is saying that, sir, this is the normal skate, but we have the specialized skate. And I believe your son is able to do it very well in the ring. And he can be a good skater in his lifetime, or he can even go at a national level. This is where she tried to connect it, and you feel like, yes, I should help my son to get the best one, and that is where she is able to make a sale of a particular product. Okay, so it may be at times may be workable that your son maybe start doing it and creating a value. Okay. Now, potential reason to investment you need to create, like why you want investment. If suppose I being an investor, I being making investment in your company, like what should be the reason for that? Okay, what are the benefits that I get? What is the value I able to get out of it? What is the multiplier impact I able to get? It may be the 10x, 20x return I able to create in the time to come. Impact your startup will create. What is the impact? What is the impact assessment that you're able to create the market?
Just look over it once.
Capabilities you and your team possess. Be very clear how much investment in this round you are seeking, time frame, return on investment, and utilization of funds. So these are the few of the steps that you need to categorically talk about in a very clear and concise manner that will be very helpful for the investor to take his informed decision of making investment in your company. Okay. There being a study that being undertaken by DocCent, which talks about, like, for if you're suppose you're sending your pitch deck to any investor or to any venture capitalist, like generally the pitch takes 7 minutes 44 seconds. That may be a rough estimate, but 7 to 8 minutes generally people just look at and browse and what your company is and what you are pitching at. So your slide should not be much. It need to be 10 to 15 max. And again, I would say people try to demoralize at times, but be passionate all the time, as a startup is your baby and it is you who have to take care. You have to grow and make it big. Okay. This being the, like at times people get so emotional at the time of the pitch that they forget to talk about certain factors. They only talk about few of the factors. So try to, like in that 7 minutes, try to talk about all those things, like the solution, the traction, the market size, the customer, the revenue model, the sales cycle, competition, partners, you have management, advisory board, and the last, the financials, of course. So these all things that you need to cover in that. So you need to just give a glance of all the things that, yes, the entire thing, the big picture that you are showing, that this is where we are. A few caution point as well, not to over exaggerate or be hyperbolic, because everybody knows everything. If you start saying something out of the word, then people understand that you're being very hyperbolic. Not to run after every investor. I already told that be very specific. That is not only you who's looking for investor also looking for certain segments, and they may be sector agnostic. So we need to be clear on that. Have a clear picture whether you need a strategic or financial investor. Again, because at times, suppose if I say that there may be a big company who is in a similar domain, and as my startup is, he can come and act as a strategic advisor for us. They can, if they are coming, they will bring value on the table. Okay. But if I've been just talking about a financial investor, he's just giving the money. He's not adding any value proposition to the company. Okay, he's just bridging my working capital requirement, bridging my capex requirement, but he's not taking me to the next round. So you need to look into whether the strategic investor or financial investor that you're looking at, not accept every terms of the investor blindly. This is the mistake that actually happens. And when the term sheet comes to us, then we feel that most of the thing that being written is all in favor of the investor. We need to think deeply, like in the term sheet, what are the terms that are being written, and it should not something which may jeopardize you in the later point of time, which may be harmful to you, which may be against you. Okay, while finalizing term sheet, be extra cautious on preferential right. This is most important. Like, take example, like the company not able to perform well, it's been run over the years, not able to perform well, and now whatsoever the proceeds that being left, or whatsoever the net worth we have in the company, there being so much of the preferential rights that already being provided to, and the form of the compulsory convertible preferentials or any like CCD or whatsoever, to the investors. And now you as an equity shareholder is not getting anything out of that, because it is the investor saying that yes, all the preferential rights we have, the first advantage we should have, and we should get the return what we have talked about. So this is another important critical aspect that need to be looked at. Take that much fund from investor that is most optimally required. Again, very important caution line. Don't dilute too much in first go. Cap table, always focus yourself on the cap table. My cap table should not get diluted too much. Have a lot of research before starting your startup, and don't start a thing which no one wants. So this being the few caution point that been there. Intangible asset, again, we are sitting in a age where intangible is more meaningful than tangible. So patent, again, one important thing. Please, whatsoever the organization you all are running, please get your trademark registered. If you have anything of innovative in nature, get it patented. Copyright, get it copyright. Trade secret, get it trade secret. Done. Because the question is, even if I suppose, even if you have created a company, you made it $1 billion company, but suppose if that trademark that you're talking about, you're not able to get a command on it. You're not able to say, somebody comes and says, no boss, this trademark is not yours. This is I already been registered earlier than you. Then you are losing the game. So it's always been better to get yourself trademark registered first thing first. Okay. So it may be like intangible assets, it may be the data, maybe intangible, it may be the technology, it may be the brand. So for the data, what you need to look into, you can, for the data, you can get a copyright. For technology, for so this are the arrows which are showing, like for patent, a patent you can get for technology. Okay, so I need to get my technology patented. Trademark or brand, I need to get a trademark for my brand. Whatsoever my logo is, I need to get trademark. Okay, so this is the slide which you need to be aware about, and we need to talk about, like, these are my IP rights are, and these are my intangible assets are, and this has a value, lot of value. So in the end, what comes is valuation. Generally talking about, people are a bit confused, like in the initial what to talk about on numbers, whether I should ask for 2 crores, 5 crores, 10 crores, 50 crores. One gentleman came to my office and he's saying that, sir, I want my company to be valued close to 100 crores. And he just started. So people are not aware, like, what should be. Because if I being a startup, then I need to be aware about, like, what should, I may become the trillion-dollar company. But the question is what I am today. Today, I need the money in order to grow. And I need to be clear enough, like, what should be the amount that I require, what should be the dilution that I should go about. Okay. And that if these things are clear, then only I can move forward. Generally speaking, if you talk to me, because I've been into the valuation domain from the last 15 years, for a startup which has started some revenue already, so then maybe in the range of $1 million to $1.5 million, that may be the right price if you are doing well. Okay, if you have a technology behind it, if you have certain patent technology, these things have added value, so it may be in that range only. Okay, but if you say, like, in a very first go that, no, I want my company to be valued at $10 million, it cannot be. $1 million, 1.5, 2, it can go. If you have something supersonic, extraordinary, it may be go to the level of $3 million. But the question is, I need to be clear enough. Until unless I am not clear enough, I will be not able to make a decision, like whether to dilute or not, whether to take the money from the investor or not. Okay. Price is what you pay and value is what you get. And that is what been there. Now again, there may be certain challenges as well when you say, like, how to validate your startup. So because there's no historical background, no peers, not much future visibility. So in all those contexts, when I say there are a lot of challenges as well, whenever as a valuer, we need to suppose value a company. So I can only look front, I cannot look back. Because there is no, so what I can look into, I can develop a scorecard, and in the scorecard, what I can look into, profile of the person. Who is the person running the show? What sort of credential he holds? Whether he has spent a number of years in that particular domain or not, that may be one of the key important ingredient to look at. Okay. Then again, what is the segment that you're talking about? Second, scalability. Third. So these are the different parameters where we can, what is the team sizes, what is the technology that you are using, you are being a SaaS based model, or what sort of model you are using. So these are the important, who are the advisors to your board. So different set of the scorecard, it cannot be a single scorecard. There can be multiple scorecard depending upon the type of the business or the company is into. So we need to look in that way in order to define the value game. I'll not go into this valuation approaches, and because for a startup, they not make much of the sense, because everything is more moving ahead, more future oriented, more based on the relative company, like how the relative companies they have performed, they are performing. This one small graph which talks about mistakes which people make. You look at one of this pie chart, look at one triangle, I would say this 36%, that you are building something that nobody wants. So this is like 36% of the startup owners or founders, they are making a mistake. So this chart you can look into, like where the mistakes generally go. Hiring poorly, we are hiring the people poorly, they being not passionate enough, and even I being doing a wonderful job, but the people below me are not able to look at, prioritize it, or able to perform in a way that that is again need to be looked at. What are the type of the people we have? So this I've been talking about the scorecard model. So size of the opportunity, how long the team who are the co-founders are, what the traction your startup has. So a number of things you can always look into, like when you're building the scorecard. And this scorecard is not a static; it can be dynamic. It need to be built based on the company to company and industry to industry. Okay. So I believe like, so I give you a glance like how the venture capitalists look at. Suppose, take example, there's an investor, venture capitalist, suppose he is willing to make investment, suppose $1 million. He's saying that, okay, pretty fine, I find your pitch very reasonable enough, and I'm willing to make $1 million investment in your company. And my expected return on investment is 25%. That's what I desire to. And my term is 5 years. I will make investment for a period of 5 years. I will be there with you. Revenue at this point of time is $0.5 million. 5 years, and the end of the 5th year, the net income is $1.5 million. So I've been saying that, okay, the investor is asking you, like, okay, at the end of the 5th year, what sort of the income you're able to generate? He's saying that $1.5 million, suppose, just for example's sake, I'm saying. So he's saying that I will need an exit multiple at least 10x of what the investment I made today. So this is the entire set of like the under the condition and assumptions that the investment round is taking place. Suppose. Now, how much the stake the VC must own? So required future value of investment will be $1 million into 1 plus 25% return on investment, power 5 means 5 years, equals to $3.05 million is the future value of the investment. Now at that point, the company is expected to be worth, exit value of the company already decided, he said 10 times I require, 10 times or exit value. Exit value was how much? $1.5 million. And in the 5th year, so $15 million. So hence venture capitalists must own 3.05 divided by 15, that is 20.3% stake he will hold in your company for making $1 million investment at a return expectation of 25% for a period of 5 years. So this is the game that actually being followed. It is more like based on the conviction of the promoter, the investment round or the initial investment round generally being done based on the team credibility, based on the advisory board, based on the technology and all these things that have been taken care of when the investor makes investment and he looks into. Okay. So I'm stopping my presentation over here. I'm not going with the slide, anything more. But now any questions that you have, you can always raise a question point. And even not only into this business model or business side, but also into anything, any question you feel to ask on the valuation aspect, also you are most welcome to ask. And okay.
Yeah.
Yeah,
thank you, Manish, for the insightful presentation. But I had a very basic question, right? With the recession in place, do you think any of the investment scenario will change, or how do you think startups should prepare ourselves in terms of even say, for example, should we give all the financials as we have already asked for, or should we do some hiring cut downs? So how do you think startups should prepare ourselves for the oncoming recession?
Okay, that is how the things are where we are, and everybody knows like the situation is a little bit more tight in comparison to the past if you look into, and the flow of the money is not easy as on date, and everybody is now being asking more questions, the investor asking more questions, more critically they're being analyzing now Okay, now how the things being now the pressure point is more on the founders. Now you need to explain how the things are, how we will work, what is the technology, what is the process, and because earlier the investor not taking much interest going deep dive into your company, but now they know like the situation is pretty tight. I need to be more careful about my portfolio of the investment I have made into. So the question is like, again, I need one thing I tell you, like you have to be very strong enough in your conviction part and the gut feeling that you hold. Because at the end of the day, it is your gut feeling which makes all the difference. Because the investor want to see that confidence that beforehand. It is not only the numbers which make the difference. It is like what you strongly believe and the how you want to take it forward. That is more important thing. Another aspect is people believe that, okay, somebody has a, suppose the investor has made an investment in your company and now your company not able to achieve the numbers what you have portrayed for. And you are saying that 6 months or 1 year number is not going in the same way. It may be 50% of what I have presented to. Okay, no harm, no problem at all. The question is, it is not only the numbers that make a difference. You say that, and everybody knows how the market is going. Okay, but if you sustain yourself over this period, if you say that yes, these are the numbers which actually are able to build into, but I firmly believe that in the next like 2 years, 3 years down the line, I able to achieve what I have promised to. That creates more value to that. Okay, because nobody is willing to look at just 1 year number of yours, because everybody knows there's going to be burnout. There's so much stiff competition that been there. So I need to talk more on the wider range. I need to talk not for 1 year, 6 months. I need to talk somebody with the investor with at least like 5-year framework. Okay, that you need to be patient enough. And another thing, there may be a few of the venture capitalists that may not be a right fit for everyone, because they start like pinching after only 6 months. You provide me MIS, it's not working, this thing, that thing. It means that they are not the right fit for us. They don't understand my business model. That being the reason that they are not convinced, and they've been asking only on the financial parameter. So financial parameter is one of the aspect only. Okay, again, like suppose you started the thing, you taken the investment, and one year already happened, and now you're not able to achieve your numbers. You can say that, yes, this is what we looked into. I feel that these are my lagging indicators. Though talk always on a very critical note that these are my lagging indicators. I believe that this, if I work on these things can be find a meaning and create more value now. And these are my leading indicators. I being strong enough and I can position myself better in this. Okay. I may be hiring more team in order to, now everybody talking about like slashing the team, reducing the numbers, reducing the cost factor. First of all, I should, both ways, I should not go I should not go in a way like I keep on hiring people, and one day I said 300 people, I've been just laying off. That is not the right way to look at. We should, whatsoever we are doing, we should do it optimally. That whether they actually being required, it's not like a fancy people. A lot of people believe like a startup is a fancy word and fancy show. And I being the founder, I being the chairman, I can do anything. I have to be in a Mercedes day one. It should not be going like that. I have to build it, because if I build it, then I will to own it. If I am not built and I start from day one that yes, I being the founder, I will build a unicorn. Unicorn, saying a unicorn, these are just number games. Maybe you being a unicorn, I don't buy this idea. You can be a unicorn, but you can be a total flop show. Okay, everybody wish to have a unicorn. This is the status that being created based on the valuation game. This is not something fundamental in value. Okay, you have to be fundamental in value. Then only you can say that yes, I have created something. I have created a bigger fool theory. One investor, another investor keep on piling with the premium of the money and then saying that my company gone bust. That very
So that's true. So actually, right, in this space, what we are building is of utmost value and very critical. And I think COVID has proved that to us. But however, we see that investments in the biotech or the hardcore life sciences domain is very nascent in India, right? We are unable to identify any institutional investors who are keen on investing in biotech or life science startups. Do you think COVID has changed the thought process, or it's going to be more of a struggle for us?
No, first of all, I would not say like there's any struggle. Keep aside this thought of yours that there's a struggle or I will not be able to get the funding or this thing. You are doing a wonderful job. Whatever you have demonstrated, that's extremely good. And you need a right person to buy your story. Okay. If you're talking, maybe you have talked to 4 or 5, that may not be the right fit for you. They're not able to understand your business sense. That may be the reason that you have come up with this thought that, okay, it's being a difficult time. There's nothing like a difficult time. You have done something, and that is something technology driven. That is something which is the need of the hour, that you're already saying that 50 years, nobody has done this and we are doing this. So this is the value that you need to find the right person who can appreciate your value. Another important aspect is there's always been a time lag because you will not able to create a revenue from day one. Try to understand. There's always been a lot of the research that being required. Yes. Okay. So there's always been a time lag that if somebody invested money today, it may be like it may go to 7 years also. Okay. So
it's already gone to 7 years.
That's what I've been telling. So the question is like, if you sustain for 7 years, that is already you're being successful. If you're not being successful, you're never able to sustain 7 years of yours. Okay. So you just look into like who may be the right fit. And I know few, and I can also connect you with the people who may be interested in biotech. And
that will help, Manish. I'll put my email ID on the chat. If you can connect us to somebody, it'll be great. In consideration of time, can I just ask one more question?
Sure.
If it's not a problem for others.
No. Your question is a solution to everybody over here.
Yeah.
Okay.
So the other question I wanted to ask was, we are getting our financials ready, and as I told you, we wanted to move to the US, and we are in the process of moving to the US. In that case, whatever financials and projections that we are getting are not GAAP accounting based or GAAP taxation laws based. So how do you think we should approach this from India? Because at this point of time, we are not able to afford the big 4. And if that is the case, how should we approach this?
Which are doing this gap.
I think you are on mute. I'm not able to hear you.
Hello.
Yeah, I can hear you now.
Okay. So what I've been saying that it is not only the big 4s. There are so many audit firms these days, which being young chartered accountants and who being very good enough in those like iGAP and all these things. Okay. So you can approach them. It is no need to go to the big 4 and spend so much of the money at the initial level. Okay.
Yeah, but GAAP accounting is a must, right?
GAAP accounting is a must, but the question is like, it will only come whenever you go to the level of raising the funds. Okay. Because
we have identified a partner who's interested in the US, Genoa Ventures. So we were in the process of doing some financials for them. Both me and my co-founder are not from the financial background. So we are totally dependent on auditors and PP.
No
but what they gave us is not a GAAP accounting based or US taxation law based. Okay, they simply converted into US dollars and they gave us a financials. So I think we are stuck there. And it's a real problem that we are stuck at.
Then you need to talk to the right consultant and find the right one, because I majorly being into the valuation side and not being into the audit side where I can suggest to anyone. But the question is like you need to find, and there are so many budding new chartered accountants who who may be working in big fours, now they have started their own practice. So you need to talk to them.
Yeah, that helps. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Yeah, any questions?
Yeah, hi. My company, we started during, this whole COVID lockdown, and, and somehow we managed to stay afloat, with the help of bootstrapping and some help with, help from friends. So my question is, does that, give you an edge, the fact that, the whole thing started during lockdown, and since we are a company that needs to be there, kind of, how do you say, physically present and can't do anything online, we were kind of stuck, without any work, so we had to kind of sustain the business and, hold on. Sorry, I didn't realize my video was off. Sustain the business, and we had to hold on. And I wanted to hold on to my team because they were all good people, and, they were the ones who would help me take the company forward. So does that give us some credit?
No, first thing first, tell me a little bit about your company background, like what exactly that I just forgot to tell you, given the initial
Yeah, I told you, right? Yeah, we
just
manufacture composite panels which are used for construction.
okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
with those paper honeycomb and stuff. So you have to be present in order to manufacture, in order to go out and install. So, but then I, kind of kept the company floating and kind of pushed on because I believed in the
Now
product.
your company is creating revenue as on date?
Now we are, yes.
Okay.
In the last,
okay.
we constructed our own factory in last year in October. And since then, we've been able to kind of, generate revenue.
Okay. Okay. So I would say, like, you need to talk to the companies, big companies, which being in a domain similar to yours, okay, who are manufacturing, like take example, there may be a company like HSIL, Hindware, like they also been doing a lot of things stuff. So if your product can align with their products, okay, they can become a strategic advisor, make a strategic investment into your company, okay. So it is not like you have to find somebody new, some investor new, who already being there in the market, who have or already customers and everything ready. So you can collaborate with them. They can become an investor in your company. They can take certain stake in your company, and then they can make you grow, because back-to-back orders you will be receiving from them. It is not like you can go and directly talk to one customer and second customer, third customer. It's been very difficult, right? So you need to identify people who are already being in the market, who are selling the product, and your product can align with their products. Okay.
Yeah. Okay. Thanks so much.
Any other questions? Anyone, any questions? We can always like, yeah, Indu. So if there's no question, then we can end it over here.
Sure, Manish. Thank you so much. And request the audience.
Yeah, you are not audible. Your mic is off.
Sorry. Yeah. So I think we have one question in the chat box, Manish. I don't know if you've already discussed this from Simi. Do you want to take this up?
What is the question? Can you read? I'm not able to find that question.
Simi, would you want to come online and
is not raising a question. She's writing about what the company does.
Okay. Okay, I think Manish, they really don't have any questions, so we can wrap up now.
Sure. So thanks a lot, and thanks for all the people. And I believe that everybody is doing great. And I just say one simple thing: just believe in the conviction that you carry. Don't go with everybody what the people saying, that you follow your conviction. But if anything somebody is saying, just look at practically, like what are the things that need to be changed. If their business model, I can certain tweaking is being required, we can always look into doing the tweaking as well. Okay, thanks a lot, and all the very best to everyone.
Thank you, Manish.